Hey everyone, Steve here. In the United States, roughly 95,000 people die in a given year due to alcohol-related injuries or accidents. In fact, people who engage in binge drinking are about 70 times more likely to end up taking a trip to the emergency department. Addiction is a deadly disease, but there's help and there's hope. People get well every day, all the time. Check this guy out. 10 years later, almost unrecognizable, except for my hairline. So if you are reaching out for any help or you need someone to talk to, text HOME to 741-741, or you can call the National Suicide Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. Definitely reach out for help. Please. There's people who care. Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Marc's out in the garden, and this is Smokey, Steve, and Marc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It's the weekend, so we're doing some coffee in the afternoon, getting frisky. Coconut cream and French vanilla, the little creamers with some stevia, not bad. So I hope everyone's well, I hope everyone's safe, look after yourselves, look after each other in these increasingly volatile times in which we live. Today we're going to discuss, of course, our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, The Beezer Show, and Foodie Beauty Now. No name changes for a while. So this week was rather busy for her. Actually, the last few days. So what we are talking about today is pretty much her ridiculous, self-centered, crazy rant that she went on. I don't use the word crazy often, but I don't know what else to call it without a specific diagnosis. And she had a 4-hour live where she was out of control drunk. We'll talk about that mostly, but I wanted to bring up another couple things first. So, Natter and her having a relationship drama really isn't new, because I even talked about last week how three's a crowd for all of them. It's more or less been the same back and forth between the two of them for most of the week. I love you. Do you love me? Can I come over? She shoots a video on the way home when they tell her that she can't come in, but they send her with takeouts of paneer. She must feel so loved. She goes back and forth with Natter between I hate you and I'll kiss your feet. So those two very far ends of the spectrum are all on the table for her, I suppose. Natter's not making wedding plans. I promise you. If you think you're building a life together with him, you're being lied to have access to your money. He says what you want to hear, and of course you believe it. I mean, look at how you're acting. I don't like it. I mean, I would tell you anything you wanted to hear if you were paying me. If I knew that I was dead set not interested and I was a morally bankrupt jackass, then perhaps I would take advantage of a situation like that and a person like that. Chantal's only vulnerability, as far as I can see, is that you tell her you love her, she's all over you in an unhealthy, obsessive way when she doesn't feel like she's being treated right. So, in response to her latest not being treated right, she's trashed Natter and Dee from one end of YouTube to the other. And then is curious as to why there's conflict in the relationship. As soon as she's sorry, you're supposed to say you're sorry, and that's it. That was right out of the drunk stream that I saw. She's on the phone with Natter, calling 1,000 times, you love me, you love me, you love me.
What did he say about me? Where is he? Naughty daddy, where the fuck are you? You want to say something to me? Say it to my fucking face. You're always big on your fucking camera. Hey. Are you reacting to me?
Fuck this.
What?
Fuck this.
Oh.
And who gives a fuck if I love you?
I care. Oh. Say you love me.
Where's my thumbnail?
Shit! Where's my thumbnail? Where's my thumbnail? Where's my thumbnail?
Hello?
Hi. Are you gonna tell everybody that you really like me or what?
Oh, you fucking stupid idiots.
What? I love you so much.
it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to watch. I felt bad for her in the moment because rejection isn't fun, but it's when every other direction points to he's not a good guy for you. He's not a good guy for anybody, but especially not her, because she reacts like this. In order to get someone's attention, she hurts herself, overdoses herself, feigns grave illness so that people will forget that she went on a crazy ass stream last night. So the next day it's, I will manipulate you, I will wrap you around my little finger, and you'll love it. She's not wrong. The fact that there's anybody left who's a VIB is rather telling. Unless they're all trolls and, you know, just people who want to see what's going on. I catch her on the reactions and the archives usually myself. Just saying. So the next thing, we're not going to waste a lot of time on dumb shit because the most important thing this week was her making a complete ass out of herself and insulting a lot of people in the meantime. But before that, we're going to talk about how Chantal was a little bit gay this week. She's a little gay. Bi. She says bi. She has no motive ever of just putting news out there. It's directed at somebody. It's meant to poke at an emotion. It's, well, I don't think she means for them to look like she's incredibly self-centered, but they all usually do anyway. So you don't need to be bi for us. It's Pride Month, and you know, but keep your support to yourself. She has a very big misunderstanding, I think, of what bisexual people actually do. I think she thinks it's like an open invitation for a multi-partner orgy. There probably are people of all persuasions who like a little scene like that, but by and large, I don't think that's actually the case. Anyway, I wasn't necessarily offended by what she said because I expect very little, so I wasn't very disappointed. Was I surprised that she went that far? No, she was drunk. She's a sloppy drunk. The last time she got drunk in Cuba, you remember? And then this now, which I think tops Cuba, I have to say. That rant had a lot of negative, kind of, I don't know, racist, bullying, stay in your place VIBs kind of tone to it. This was a little bit different. This was not, I don't think she planned to be as drunk as she was. So in the midst of her drunken ramblings, too, we had the bisexual thing work itself out. I don't think she's bisexual at all. I think Natter likes bisexual girls, definitely. And she'll try to be whatever he wants. So throwing it out there, I'm bi, like he's going to bring in another girl. The last thing she needs is a fourth. First it'll be that girl, then Dee Dee, then Chantal, and she'll be paying 4 rents for everybody so that she can act like they care. I don't mean to be cruel, but they're only acting like they care. They don't. You are a huge source of money, and you're easily manipulated. For as much as she likes to think she's like the star of the show when it comes to getting one over on people, she will not only be humiliated, she'll be humiliated publicly. She'll be told, shut up, shitface, and the phone will hang up. And she says, oh, we do that all the time. Have you ever seen a Lifetime movie? That's almost scripted. Just about. Anyway, so save your gay. Save your gay. You know, thanks but no thanks. They were going to go to Pride and then they didn't. And she was going to get drunk instead, I guess. They had more planned. I think Pete's was going to go with her too. God bless Pete's. But that didn't happen either. A lot of stuff didn't happen. Going to the vet didn't happen either, I have to say. Why? There was nothing in it for her. Just because she loves her pets doesn't make her a good pet owner. The two do not mean the same thing. I'm a virgin pet owner. Bandit's my first cat. And I err on the side of caution. If he throws up, I'm concerned. Mark talks me off the ledge because every time something happens, I'm like, my baby! So I don't think she necessarily gets anything out of taking the cats to the vet except for a check on them being healthy. There was another channel I was following when one of the pets didn't look so great. And then we get a video one day that it died. Not much love loss in that video, but that was it. That the pet had died from, I don't know. They had it put down because it needed its teeth cleaned. I never get some people. I don't want to. I don't think. I've been years of greedy, selfish, needy, self-centered. I got all that in my 20s. So I'm trying, and now I don't want to definitely carry it into my 40s. I'll be 40 next month. So that takes us through her talking about... I have to say something about addict shaming. When drugs come up, she will seriously get defensive of people who are addict shaming. Now, addict shaming is not a thing when a person doesn't think they're an addict. You know, it doesn't apply. It's just lip service. It's kind of like, how can I put this? It's fake. It's disingenuous. It's very, very, very fake, I think. She spent in that live stream 4 hours online drinking. 4 hours online drinking. Sidebar, this was a little hard for me to watch because she was using my drug of choice. I didn't put myself at risk. I just, you know, when it was too much, turned it off, turned it on, because Saturday's review day, and I can cope because I'm an adult and I can make choices. I can make decisions. Whether they're good or bad, they land on me. I don't get to blame it on the booze anymore. And even when you do, it's no excuse. Apologizing for alcohol being intoxicating is stupid. That's not an apology. It's a statement of fact. There's zero accountability in it. I'm truly sorry. She apologizes a lot. And I can see where families would get pissed off with individuals in their family who are an addict or an alcoholic. It's enough already. It's enough to be bored. There's enough evidence. Even if she wasn't drinking, her life's a fucking mess. Pour booze on it and it's like gas on a fire. All of a sudden, all the ugliest things about her pour out the second she gets a few drinks in her. And she thinks she's quick and funny, but she thinks she's very quick and very funny when she drinks. Someone will throw out a statement to her like, hey, why don't you stop drinking? And be like, F you, it's my life. Okay. Do you? You'll be regretting it tomorrow. You will. So for this live stream that we all saw, I'm going to bring Mark in on this in a little bit, where we're just going to... She was online, and it was like the middle... She had done a few lives that day. You know, it was a couple days ago. She had done a few lives, and the lives weren't particularly interesting. They're not. I don't care how she feels about Natter at any given time. So, you know, I don't care when she's talking about that. So we had gone through that day. Then we're home and we're drinking. She likes edibles, possibly other drugs. The only time I could see someone who has that like polysubstance dependence drinking is when they can't get anything else. There's no other way to get myself out of myself and fucked up right now, so we'll go to the liquor store. Well, when true colors come out, when a person drinks, when the mask falls off, it makes a pretty big thud. So she had huge swings in energy levels during this. She was drunk. And other things. There was other stuff going on. I mean, she hit the alcohol hard because I think she didn't have anything else in the house that would get her as good as that got her. But she humiliated herself. It was so sad. I've never been so sad and so insulted in all my life. It's like a weird kind of mixed up thing. She hounded Natter during the course of this thing. Hounded him during the course of her life. She got loaded, and out comes the phone. Because she calls at least 10 times, if not more, to him while she's intoxicated and on stream, and is curious as to why he doesn't want to talk. She keeps insisting or asking him, say you love me, tell them you love me, say you love me. And he told her to eat shit, something very similar to that. And she's like, laugh, oh, we do this all the time. I'm sorry if that's your relationship. That sucks. It's not one I would probably choose to keep unless I felt like I had no choice. And being lonely doesn't mean no choice. You could be single again. You'll manage. You don't need to have 2 or 3 other kids in the house that you're taking care of. So she's been playing throughout this video she's in the song Pumped Up Kicks, which has kind of been adopted by some folks who had the children who died in Texas and who were murdered. It's kind of taken on by some of the families, I guess. So she plays it and then plays it again. And people said, it's this, you know what I mean? Just, it's rude. It's kind of their thing. She got to the end of the video when she was doing choreography to it. And the choreography she did for the song that's affiliated with that child massacre is this. So that's not okay. I'm no more YouTube's moral compass than anything, but that was just the shittiest fucking thing to do. So shitty, so stupid, and thought she was funny while she was doing it. This is why alcohol's not a good pair for her. It reveals much about her that she tries to keep to herself. Her desperation to get in touch with Natter. You know, she said she called a few thousand times, and somehow charges were against him. Go figure. So she's admitted to some of the behaviors that she's done. But this is different. This was increasingly intoxicated, more and more rude, more and more weird, less and less clothes, and then she's just smashed, absolutely smashed. And again, playing the pumped up kick song over and over and dancing to it. Poor taste. It was such poor taste. Also, with a little booze in her, she forced herself on Pete's. And then I asked him what he thought, and he's like, well, you're drunk. He came up to stand next to her, and she put her hand on his chest, kind of like this. You fucking bitch. Seriously? You know Pete still likes you a little bit. You know he does, and he's not going to tell you no because he's a pushover. To use him, either for your own satisfaction or to try to make Natter jealous, is awful. It is awful. It is such a shitty thing to do. To an ex? And then to talk to your ex about the size of your current boyfriend's genitalia? Pete's puts up with too much, but that's on him. That's on him. I think he would do well living with other people outside of that house for a couple of years till he gets his feet on the ground with like independent living. I don't know. But taking advantage of him, like I said, to either make Natter jealous or try to, because that insistence that you're not sleeping with your roommate, there's a little bit of proof that you at least make out with him. I don't know how Natty Daddy's gonna like that. Either he doesn't give a shit at all because he doesn't like you, or he'll be put off by it. He'll be put off. His big complaint was that Chantal lived with her ex-boyfriend. So during the end of this drunken stream, Pete's is trying to be, like, he's trying to steer the ship, pretty much. He brings her a glass of water about yay big and says, drink this. And she's like, why? He won't say anything other than, like, he won't say, you're making a fucking fool of yourself and you're making a fool of me for doing it and putting up with it, so knock it off, get offline. It didn't happen that way. He just kept saying, drink some water. She'd say another dumbass thing. Drink some water. Why? Why can't I say that? Drink some water. He let it be known that he thought that she was incredibly annoying when she was drunk. And I think, camera aside, his position was not one that was new. I think he kind of takes in stride that she's incredibly annoying when she drinks. And I found that to be the case, too. Aside from doing something rude and distasteful in reference to, I don't care if you were drunk. I don't care if you were drunk. Sorry, still shitty. And anyone who would do that sober is just a straight shitty person. You know, alcohol, it's alleged to, like, have our actions come out of us and we're more honest and more forthright and the truth comes out of your mouth. I can tell you when I used to drink, a lot of shit would come out of my mouth. A lot. Usually what would end up happening, I'm such a bastard, I'd go to a straight bar and talk to a girl, and then her boyfriend would come over and we'd all talk, and I'd, like, start looking at him a little too closely. Yeah, I almost got hit a couple times. But I was drunk. My inhibitions were down. I was convinced of my prowess, and that I was going to turn a straight guy before I left the bar. Delusional. I was a 290-pound bulimic alcoholic. Probably still had puke in my teeth when I went to the bar. This is not sexy. This is not attractive. I wouldn't think much of someone who did find it sexy or attractive. Natter. So, I don't know. But like I said, using Pete's as a guard to try to make... Pete's is a vulnerable person. He's dealing with untreated mental illness at the moment. I mean, he has some of his meds. I think Chantal gets the good ones because she's borrowed some of his before. I think they probably borrow him some substances that you need to not be an addict to use. Those other pills, besides the antidepressants, like Klonopin, I don't know, Xanax, Ativan, something like that, would be prescribed for someone with severe anxiety, not someone looking to get high. So there's a difference. I can't. She still leads him on, but I mean, it's just so shitty. So we talked about the gunshot fingers, insensitive, rude, and she made the whole thing about her. She was so sad about these children dying. So sad. She had on the fake... She can curl the smile on that really quick. Did you notice? When she starts to find herself funny, she laughs like a riot. But if she wants to think that she can bring in and take those 19 children, I will take your kids. I would love one of my own. Natter wants kids. She don't want kids. So she has to be all emotional. Like, don't you see? I'm telling you without telling you how much I love you. It was still about him and her. It was not about anything else. The platform to talk about it was the shooting and what happened and how she laid down her life and would take those kids. This bitch doesn't even take the cat to the vet. And she's going to take in children? If a child was born into that situation by some miracle, it would be taken away. It would be taken away. COIS would just start coming as soon as they brought it home because Chantal can't really keep a clean, safe place for herself to live. And she's going to provide that to a child? No fucking way. Sometimes things, you know, not everyone's called to childhood. And some signs are more poignant than others, I guess. So the dramatic Oscar moment where she was raging, the kids, so many kids. And she kept looking at Pete's and she can't make herself cry. So she's trying to trigger it with sad facial expressions, but she's too drunk to find anything not funny. So her sense of decorum or maybe this isn't something for my channel to talk about. Okay. The Anti-America Rant, Pete's does it, she does it. Do they know what it's like here in the States? No. Would they know what it's like to have to send a child to school worried if they're going to come home? No. These problems are largely American, these mass shootings. However, that's not to say that all Americans feel like it's just, oh well, she had a lot of political opinions quick, and she was screaming them. She went on this fuck America rant. Fuck you, fucking fuck this, fuck you. First of all, you can't paint a brush across the entire country and decide how people feel and how they don't feel and how they care and don't care. A lot of people care. A lot of people are taking action. People are trying to do things. People are curious about the investigation. But none of us are online drunk trying to say that we would take care of the little children. That's so selfish. It was still, you still made it about you. She still made it about her. I'm upset by this. I don't know if I told you guys how upset I was by this. Finding something that has nothing to do with her. And what is she going to do to advocate for solutions? Nothing. Nothing. So her opinion on that's kind of moot, as far as I say. So I think I've said my bit. I'm kind of pissed off enough at this point. I'm going to bring in Mark, who we know is a little more forthright with his feelings. So we're going to bring him in. He's going to share a little bit of his thoughts, too. Okay? All right. Mark.
Yes.
Come hither. You guys know Mark.
Hey, guys, excuse my appearance. I'm out in the garden.
Yeah. So we were just catching up a little bit.
Yeah.
And talking about this week, which had a few stupid points, like her half-gay thing, and then more natter back and forth. But the highlight of madness was her drunken stream.
Yeah.
Online for hours, drinking.
Just disgusting.
Running her mouth.
Yeah.
Stalking this man she knows. We'll just put it like that.
The calling over and
Yes.
over again. What the heck? Like, when is she going to realize that he is using her? He is not into her. He doesn't want to get married and have a life together. He is not into you. When is she going to get this? When is she going to be
not yet.
Stop being a pushover and being taken advantage of?
Because she thinks she's in control.
That's right.
She thinks she's control.
That'll happen when she gets a little bit of self-respect.
Probably.
Anyway, so, okay. I have had it this week. I've had it. We watched that live it was yesterday.
I saw it
night.
live when it was
Yeah,
happening.
we saw, and I was so disgusted by that, but I'm going to back up a little bit and, to take a look at this from an SUD perspective, a substance use disorder perspective. I work with people every day that have addiction problems and substance use disorders, and what's going on with her is what I've been saying this entire time. It's not a surprise to me what's happening. This is classic, this is how it goes. It is progressing with her. It is definitely getting worse. And, the use of alcohol, is definitely in place of or to add to the other drugs that she's using. Hardcore drugs, cocaine, meth, whatever else she, was messing with. If she can't get it, you're going to look for anything else. And alcohol usually is the number one thing that they will substitute. We've seen this now repeatedly with her. And this was the worst. I mean, what was it? 3 bottles of wine or something? I lost count. Yeah. I don't even know.
Well, she had a whole bottle of rum for the Cuba bees.
Yes.
That's binge drinking.
Binge.
That's textbook binge drinking.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not debatable.
No.
But what's the effect it having on her life?
And her behaviors, and and we've seen this again, over and over again as well. She says all this crap, makes herself look like a racist, a people hater, self-centered idiot. And then the next day we get an apology. Like this one. Like this half-hearted, ridiculous... Okay, so we're just supposed to say, okay. Oh, it was the alcohol.
Oh, she's sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Let's just be.
No, it is not to that point. Personally,
you don't get to do that.
I've had it. I've done with her. I mean, not that I matter at all, but this is so hard to watch anymore because it's proving what a disgusting person that she is. My opinion is, this is going to continue on, and it will. She's going to have a consequence, and it's going to be a bad one. She is going to hurt herself or somebody else. She's going to get into a wreck. Something is going to happen. Should we show it again? There. Yeah, that might happen. And you know what? I hope it happens to her, because if that happens to her and she goes to jail, she's lucky. She dodged a bullet, because at least she's still alive. I see this every single week where I work, and it is so frustrating to watch her, because the folks that I work with, the majority of them genuinely are coming for help, and they put in the effort, and they get a little bit of humility, and they work on them. They try to help themselves. They try to become, a better person. A healthy person, and she does not do it. She is not willing to do it, and it is so frustrating to watch. In my opinion, she should have her channel absolutely yanked a long time ago, but especially with last night and this thing and all of that.
This, fuck you.
That did not. It made me so angry. Just like the sexual abuse, the domestic abuse, all of that game playing that she's doing with all of that, it made me so angry, and I get high blood pressure over it. I do.
High pressure.
I do. I know. I could just turn
chick
it off,
in Canada. Who cares? But I mean, I know what you mean.
That is what needs to happen to her. She is not a good person. This is a disgusting person that we're seeing here. Self-centered, righteous, and it's a shame. It's a damn shame, because it is just right in front of us. It is playing in real time right in front of us. She's probably live right now. And all this gaslighting and all of this deflecting and it's just all classic addictive behavior. And Chantal, she knows nothing else but more. She wants more. She wants to be in control. She wants more drugs, more food, more sex, more whatever. And how about this? Every single time they get into a fight, oh, I have all of these other men who are interested in me. I'm going to go out on a date. Come on. You know what? This is just a broken record, and I'm tired of it. I'm so sick of it. I really am. Yeah. It disturbs me now. She needs to have a consequence. And I usually, in my job and dealing with other folks that have, especially substance use disorders, I tend to have patience. I tend to have sympathy, and a lot of patience, because to work in this field, you have to have patience. But no, I'm not with her anymore. This is totally ridiculous. And I didn't listen earlier. I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but the best thing that could happen to her is one, that her channel will be yanked,
Yeah.
or people would just stop giving her attention. Even us, like, this is giving her attention, even though we're not like a reaction channel.
No, we're trying to spin it as awareness raising.
You know, I mean, it really should, because this is what happens.
Yeah, this is a cautionary tale.
This is, and you're gonna, it's going to continue to get worse, and we're gonna see that, you know. But and the other thing would be, you know, stop giving her attention, unsubscribe, you know. But the thing is that for every 500 subscribers she loses, there's 500 more that will subscribe just for the train wreck appeal.
Yeah.
You know, she has gotten herself to a place in her life right now where I think she believes that she is in control. She is a wealthy woman that has her shit together, and that people admire her, and men are looking at her because they want her. They, you know, no, they don't.
I'm sure they stare, but that's not why.
That's not why. I mean, the only person she can get right now in her life is a feeder.
Yeah.
Or somebody who wants to exploit her or use her or get something from her. And it's a shame, but she built herself up to be this in her life right now.
Yeah. She's the boss bitch. She's going to Italy next week. She'll show us all.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what?
Go to Italy, sit in a hotel room and order pizza. I don't care.
It's a shame, but I'm sorry for my tirade, but I
Not at all.
had it.
It needs to be said, and you say it
So
well,
had
and you
it.
say it well.
Well, thank you.
So.
All right, I'll let you guys alone. Thanks for listening to me.
Bye, Mark.
Bye. Chantal, get your shit together.
So we're going to leave it on that note, I think. Projections for next week. More evidence of the demise of a woman who thinks that 12 grand a month is enough to die for. And we'll see how it goes. More Nader shit, because it's been 10 months. Why wouldn't there be more? Why wouldn't there be more? And I don't like Nader worth a shit, but don't stalk people. Don't call them that many times. It's annoying. Sober or drunk. That's all. So going into the next week, we'll see. We'll see. I don't have high hopes. It's going to be dramatic in a different way to try to pull attention away from this. So I thought she was going to really go to the ER, because something that breaks judgment sometimes with some people.
Should've.
She's sick. She doesn't know any better. How about she's sick and she knows damn well
Yeah, right?
and doesn't care? You know, why should I care more about her health than she does? So, no, because it's too much. Too much. I've given her, like, a lot of chances, and I'm not saying I'm not watching, because this, again, has become more of a cautionary tale than it is an investment into, I hope nothing bad happens to this person, to, I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else. So, well, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get alerts when we have new videos and go live. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, our email and contact info is all listed below as well. So thank you again for listening. Feel free to share below, because it's a hot button topic for a lot of folks, and there's plenty of room in the comments. So don't hesitate. And thanks for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow. We are going live at 6 p.m. Eastern. Just our usual chit chat. Foodie Beauty comes up, but other stuff does. We have good mods. It's usually not too crowded, actually, which I think lends to it being chill. So if you're interested, please do stop by. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye. Say goodbye, Mark.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.